Hello, everyone. This is Mike Ronchetti, and I'm excited to have a fellow business owner from Indiana with us today. My guest is Dane Willman. So, Dane, hi, welcome today, and thanks for doing our show.
Thanks for having me.
Great. Dane, as you know, we're going to ask some questions about your background as well as your future business ideas, as well as your current business ideas. Let's start with having you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your personal story. You know, includes things about your family, about your hobbies, where you live now, where you're born, anything you want.
Well, I was in the military for a lot of years. I won't discuss a whole bunch of that, but when I got out of the military, I started driving truck. I drove a truck cross country and whatnot, and then I decided to start my own trucking company. I had a multi-million-dollar trucking company and hated every minute of it. All of the government regulations and everything else were driving me nuts. So I was looking for any reason in the world to get out of trucking. One of my customers ordered sandbags twice a week from Chicago to St. Louis. And I went down there and said, Matt, I love you to death, but I'm hitting you for a 50 trip here. What are you doing? They don't make sandbags in St. Louis? He said, they don't. You find a way to do that, you got yourself a business. So I was looking for any reason in the world to get out of trucking, and that's what I did. I started a sandbag company. I came up with a machine that, that, that makes all the sandbags and fills them and everything else. And then, you put them on a pallet and off you go. Um, I got that I got that machine beta tested and everything. I put a whole bunch of machines together to make that one machine, and then I beta tested it one week. I told Matt, I said, Matt, I got a machine. I'm ready to go, and I got 100,000 bags, and I'll be down there Monday morning to come fill some bags for you. He says, okay, that's fine. Next day I was at auction, and I got a call from a village up in Chicago area, at Rockford area. We're flooding. We understand you have a machine that works. They rented my machine for the weekend. They bought every one of my bags. And I'm thinking, my God, why didn't I do this a million years ago? So I started making sandbags, and that's it's morphed into a huge operation now. I now own the Upper Midwest. When I say I own the Midwest, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, all the states that touch Indiana and Illinois, I own those states. When I say I own those states, if there's a sandbag in that state, it's mine. Um, and I've grown into a huge, huge company doing sandbags. And I've never once advertised. I've never once marketed. I don't know anything about marketing or advertising, so I don't do it. 100% of my customers came to me from word of mouth. You do really good service for people and you never back down on that, you're going to get busier and busier. So here I am. I'm the sandbag king of the upper Midwest.
That's incredible. I again, I did a little background on you, but I didn't realize how quick and elegant you grew your company. I mean, from a germ of an idea with, and I'm not saying you're overnight sensation, but you're smart enough to be prepared and you jump forward. That's incredible. In fact, if anybody wants to learn more about Dane's company, you can look at the subscription description we have here, and we have our LinkedIn connection underneath this in this enclosure here about this particular interview. So you can watch the interview again or look at the link and look at his website and learn more about him as well as his LinkedIn opportunity. So Dane, understanding that you have that one inspiration, that one gentleman who pointed out an opportunity, it took more than that one push. So obviously you quickly networked with other people or they heard about you. Can you talk about that? How that impacts you? I mean, you mentioned earlier you have a very unusual referral process.
I started out working just for that guy. Um, he told one of his peers that I do this, and everybody wants a filled sandbag. Nobody wants to fill them. So I found a job that nobody wants to do, and that's how I made my millions. Um, one thing I want to pick out a nice quick story in the middle of this. I want to talk about my dad for a second here. When I had a multi-million-dollar trucking company, my parents were proud of me and all this other stuff, like all parents would be. And one day I shut down the trucking company and decided to start the sandbag company. And I pulled up with this elaborate machine on my trailer, and my dad comes out of the house and he just looks at, that look that dads have to say, "Oh my God, where did I go wrong? You had a great company, and this is what you're doing." We're in Illinois, we don't flood. you know, and it's great that now he sees making millions of dollars doing this stuff, and he sees that, so it's kind of a fun story to throw that back. I lost track of what the original question was. So
No, the original question is just as far as beside the one gentleman who gave you that first chance, who else kind of inspired you as well as kept you moving and pushed you? Did you have anybody else, or was that one gentleman enough because he gave you critical mass there?
well, he introduced me to all his peers, and I rewarded him for such. Um, I said I don't do any marketing, but I do one piece of marketing. I throw it out to all my customers. It's called the hoodoo principle. Who do you know? Everybody knows their competitors, okay? And most of them talk to each other. I talk to all my competitors. There's only 6 competitors in the nation that do what I do. Um, and we all know each other. And most of your traffic control people, they all know each other and so on and so forth. So I was trying to capitalize on that. I don't know his peers. He knows his peers. So I said, I'll tell you what, every customer that you give me, as soon as they order 5 truckloads in a year, I'll give you a free truckload. And that's, $5,000 value, So he started introducing me to all his peers, in Chicago area and Indianapolis and that kind of stuff. And it took off and just grew really fast that way. So it's almost like social media, but but not on computer. you know, um, the old school social media. Who do you know?
Yeah.
And it just grew and grew and grew. And now, I've got locations in Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota, New Orleans. I'm looking at Carolinas now. To open up another branch. So I'm going nationwide here. Um, but it's just where I am now. Um, so as far as people that helped me, yeah, that guy helped me out a little bit, and then the people that he introduced me to other people who introduced me to other people, and it just turned into a snowball. Um, I had an insurance guy. His name was Mike. I called him Mikey. um, he was knowledgeable about all kinds of different things, and he was always on my corner. He was always pushing me along, hey, you can do this, and I paid him for the insurance that I bought, but he also gave me all kinds of wisdom throughout the years. He uh, he stopped selling insurance one year and he retired and he went to go salmon fishing with his son up in Wyoming or something like that. And I wish him well, and I wish I could have him back. I miss Mike. Other than that, I've had some coaches kind of like you that have come along and crossed paths with me in the years, and I've wowed them and they've wowed me, and they've given me some information and pushed me along, and it helps. Pe- People that I've never understood coaching, but it actually works. I've never understood why somebody would pay somebody to be my coach. I got parents for that. I got but a coach is a little different. So I see what you do. But that's who's helped me out over the years.
Well, fantastic. Obviously, how many years have you been doing this business?
Um, 2008, the worst year to start a business is when I started. um,
Wow.
the whole nation was crashing, and here I am starting a business. And I took it to new levels. Like I said, I've got locations all over the Midwest. And we're making bags and we're shipping them out to Massachusetts and Florida and Colorado and Texas and everywhere in between. Um, I just shipped 17 truckloads last week. Or this week rather. This starting Monday. What is it, Thursday now?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. So all over the country we're shipping. And it's great.
Do you do it out of one office, or do you have? I know you have a couple different offices around the Midwest. Where do you kind of have? What do you call home these days?
I live in Tennessee. I run a absentee business is what they call it, which means I still run the company, but I run it from home. A lot of people say you run it from your bathrobe or your underwear or whatever. I actually dress up. Um, but you know, I run it from my phone pretty much. I have one office where I have office people in it, and they kind of run the computers and everything else, and do all the back office stuff, and it really does help. And then all the rest of my branches that I have, it's one or two people that run the whole branch, and they just make all the sandbags and load them on trucks. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. It's an amazing machine that I have going now. It's completely different than when I started. Um, I got machines that weigh every bag, every grain of sand that goes in every bag, so I know all my costs right away. So it's really cool.
Well, it sounds like you've been able to improve it all along the ways. I mean, as far as now improving, it sounds like you want to diversify geographically. What do you see your growth challenges? I mean, what's the number one growth or opportunity that you want to do? Is it strictly more dots on the map or what?
Well, I'm in my own way, and I'm holding the company back. The company wants to grow. I've got customers that are begging me to open up branches in other locations so that I'm closer to them. Once I'm a little closer, the freight gets a little cheaper, and they can buy more sandbags that way. Okay, um, and I'm exactly the opposite of any other company. Most companies, you open an ice cream store and you market the whole area to try and sell all your ice cream to everybody. Well, I've got everybody wanting to buy my ice cream. I just don't have a store there. So all I got to do is build a store. Anywhere I build it, it grows. When I bought my Illinois property, I bought it for one customer. This one customer was going to pay for the building if this project went through. The project never went through, and I already bought the building and everything. Within 2 years, it was 41% of the sales of my company just from word of mouth advertising. Everybody found out that I'm there. Oh my God, let me buy my sandbags from you. I'm going to buy them. Can you sell them to me? And people were standing in line, come, can I be your customer? And I said, absolutely, and we give them the best service in the world. It's not unusual for somebody to call me 4:30 on a Thursday night and say, hey, I need sandbags. It's always the afterthought of every construction site, the sandbags, Hey, I need sandbags real bad. No problem. 7:30 in the morning, truck sitting there in his yard, fully loaded with sandbags. We keep a little over 500,000 sandbags in stock at any given time, filled and ready to go. We got huge trucking force out there that hauls it for us. And, like I said, we can be halfway across the country overnight, and it just wows people. I just had one of my customers, Marathon. Everybody's heard of Marathon Oil Company, they called me up. They're working on a project somewhere in Ohio, and I was down in Illinois, and they said, "Hey, we really need some sandbags." It was 4:30 in the afternoon, 7:30 in the morning. The next morning, he says, "My God, the truck's here. How do I wake this guy up?" The guy was sleeping in their yard. But there is the sandbags ready to go. Um, it really does wow people because they're not used to it, especially in construction. Nothing happens fast in construction.
Wow.
So
So it sounds like you've identified two or three niches that are unique in the world of construction, especially, but as far as also aiding governments, and now that is number one, a product that they need. Number two, a way of making it cost effectively, and number three is a logistical hub that everybody's envious of. Is that
yeah, exactly. Yep. We've
wow?
got a fine running machine here. Everything works good. Everybody knows what their job is, and everybody does a very good job working for me. I got very few employees, by the way, too. So you were asking what the schedule of events are. Where do we go next?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, I'm gonna raise your eyebrows on this one. Company's for sale right now. I'm standing
Ah,
in the way of my company. I do not want to grow it any bigger. I'm not a CEO. I'm not that kind of guy. I am. I'm just I'm just an old farm boy. I don't know anything about financial charts. I don't know how to read balance sheets, financial reports. I don't know how to read any of that stuff, and I don't want to. I make really good money. I don't have to. I don't have to read all those reports. I know what's going on. I know if I'm making money or not. Um, so this company really belongs in the hands of somebody that does know all that stuff and does want to run it. And won't stand in its way. I've been I've been not taking on new customers in the last couple of years because I don't want to grow anymore. Um, it, it's something to be said that I know all of my customers. I know their wives. I know how many kids they have. I know everything. And and there's something to be said for that kind of intimate knowledge of your customer base. Um, if you grow too big and too fast, then you lose all that. And that's not everything, but it's something. And to me, that's everything. Um, so I'm trying to sell the business right now to somebody that can run it, and and I'll go off and do something else that nobody's ever thought of or nobody wants to do.
boy, you're an exciting segue in your life, as well as obviously in our case with Action Coach, we often use the term build a business that's a viable, profitable business that works without you. Have you ever considered systematizing it and just sitting back and doing a monthly report rather than losing the opportunity to have a continuing cash flow? Or you really want to
Well,
walk away in the sunset?
I feel like somebody else needs to run it so they can grow it. The company wants to grow, and I've been hindering that. And let the company grow. it's like cutting the top of a tree off every year. Sooner or later, it's just going to die. You know,
Ah,
so yeah, give it to somebody that's going to let it grow and help it along. You know, and every, I don't know what that was. Everybody talks about success. You know, to me, success is getting to this point where I sell it and then selling it and moving on. You know, somebody else can have successful by buying this company and and growing it to a bigger level and then selling it. You know, and then
yeah,
that's how they say spell success. You know, so I feel like I've taken it as far as I wanted to go, actually further than I ever wanted it to go, and uh, and I'm at that point now. This is transition point. Time to let the kids out of the nest. You
yeah,
know.
no. One of the traits of entrepreneurs is I call it a serial entrepreneur. They always have something else in the back of their mind. Have you been giving any thought to what you do if suddenly someone walked up and gave you that check you wanted and wanted to walk away?
Oh yeah, I got a lot of things I want to do. Um, well, my favorite joke is I want to be a Walmart door greeter for one day and tell everybody there's a mirror on aisle 5. Go buy 2 of them because you obviously don't have one in your house. Walmart won't have me for a second day, I'm sure.
But you laugh at the situation. It'd be fun. Good.
Absolutely.
So one of our heroes is Jim Rome. He's a very well-regarded consultant and coach of our author of a number of books. He's passed away recently, but he had a phrase that you become the average of 5 people you spend the most time with. If you think about that a little bit, the business owners that you work with and such, is that true, or have you kind of your own self-made man, you never really engage with other business owners, or do you have friends, associates who advise you on that? Just curious what your thoughts are.
I think I align myself more with the customers than anybody that pushes me along. My customers rule my world. If uh, if they call, I jump. You know, um, and even if they don't call, I'll call them and make them jump. You know, but the customers are really what's gotten me to where I am now, and I owe it all to them. You know, it sounds kind of cheesy, it sounds bumper stickerish, but you know, if you don't have your customers, if you don't treat them well, they're going to go on to somebody else. You know, and that's all there is to it. So I like to say that you know, giving perfect service to all your customers is the best thing you can ever do.
I understand. Yeah. Yeah. It kind of goes, well, it sounds like you got incredible experience with people over your years of since you started this company. They open up your world beyond the trucking company. You're dealing with real problems, real solution situations. Uh, and yeah, I guess if you're going to say something to them, what would you say?
Thank you, thank you for all the support over the years, and it's meant. It's heartfelt. It's not like I said. It's not a bumper sticker. You know, I thank them all the time, and hey, I appreciate talking to them. You know, they call me up and they ask me how I'm doing, what I'm doing, what my score is on the golf course this week. You know, they want, you know, that's the kind of customers that I have. They all know
Yeah.
me too. You know, it's not just me knowing them.
Yeah.
So that really is that's success for me. You know,
Well, Dane, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today, and thank you very much for doing our show. And again, sounds like you got a great next adventure to move this company where it might go somewhere else with under somebody else's control. But also, I get the impression you're going to still be around for a while. It sounds like you have even plans to continue expanding while you're marking time trying to find that next version of you. Is that true?
absolutely, absolutely. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep running this business as if I'm going to run it for the next 20 years. You know,
Yeah.
you never know if somebody's going to buy it or not, but it's here.
Well, we'll appreciate it again for being on our show, and thank you, and we'll catch you down the road.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.